YouTube, what's going on? It's Jesse on the Jesse Won't Win channel, and today I'm going to be talking about why I sold my 2024 breakout to get this CVO ST here. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. It'll really help me out. The bike I had before this bike was a Harley Davidson. It was a 2024 breakout. Now, that was my first ever Harley, and I didn't really know about the touring models. Like, when I got that bike, I seen it, and I was like, man, you know, this is my style, man. Like, I felt like that bike was me, right? But remind you, I never ridden any other motorcycle. That was my first bike ever. So like I said, when I got the bike, it was cool, man. I had it for about 6 months. I did a lot of upgrades to it. I upgraded the handlebars. I did a ton of work, man. And the bike was nice. It was a very, very cool bike. You know, it got that raked out front end and the big, I think it was 26-inch wheels in the front, and then the back had a real big fat tire. I think it's like a 260 rear tire, and that bike was amazing, man. It's a beautiful bike. It rode good, and it was great, man. I didn't really have it on this channel. I wasn't getting into YouTube yet. I had like 1 or 2 shorts on this channel. You can actually go and check it out. I think it was like 1 or 2 shorts. But what happened was I went on a road trip. I think it was like a 200-mile mini road trip, and that was my first ever long distance ride on a motorcycle. And I noticed that, you know, that bike really wasn't for long distance. Really, you know, it wasn't a touring bike. So I was getting, like, it didn't have a fairing, so I was getting all the wind. You know, the bike was stable, but what happens is when you don't have a fairing to split the wind, it really makes the ride a lot more unstable. And of course, going like the further you go, the more, you know, it exhausts you. It's really exhausting, you know, to be having your hands and your head and having the helmet on. Like, you know, it's not comfortable. So after I went on that road trip, that mini road trip on the bike, I was like, okay, yeah, man, you know, I wasn't looking forward to it again, right? I wasn't looking forward to it again, and that kind of hurt me. You know, I was like, damn, like, you know, this beautiful bike I bought, this beautiful bike I upgraded, and it was like, yo, like, I don't even want to do it again. So I'm like, dang, like, I think I bought the wrong bike. So because when I bought the bike, I knew that I was gonna want to be, you know, traveling, going to like Daytona Bike Week, riding out to Sturgis and stuff like that. And I wasn't gonna be able to do it. I know some guys do it, but me personally, I can't. Like, I know I like to enjoy my ride. You know, I don't want to be, you know, oh man, I might be too tired, or, you know, dang, what if the wind is extra heavy this day? You know, I don't like uncertainty, especially when I'm trying to enjoy something. Now, granted, like, you know, I know there's a lot of guys that ride choppers and, you know, like, no fairing motorcycles to long distance rides. You know, there's just tons of guys that do it, and I'm not knocking y'all. You know, everybody has a preference, and everybody has a, you know, their style, right? And I don't like a lot of wind, man. For sure, you know, I noticed it right off the bat. I noticed it before, but see, this is the thing. On that bike, like, you know, you could handle the wind for like 30 minutes, you know what I mean? Or maybe even an hour. But when we talking like a 2-hour ride, like constant straight highway ride, it's not comfortable. You know what I mean? For me, it's not comfortable. And I don't know if some of you guys are like, I don't know if guys that have that bike are comfortable with that, but for me, it's not. So I went over to Harley and I was looking at their touring options, and I seen the Street Glide, I seen the Road Glide, and it was something about the Road Glides, man. Like, the Road Glides are very car-like, you know what I mean? The fairing, to me, it seems a little bigger, and you know where I was coming from. I was coming from like not having a fairing. I'm like, I gotta get the biggest fairing Harley got. For those of you guys that don't know me, you know, like I hate to buy twice. I really don't like to buy twice. I'm the type of dude where I go for the best and the best. You know, you want to future-proof yourself if you can. You know what I mean? So and that's what happened to me. You know, I wish I would have known, you know, my style of riding before I bought that bike, man. I'm a ton of research online, you know, YouTube, on the browser, web browser, looking up different things and stuff like that, and I noticed that I was gonna need a touring bike, because that's like my thing. Like, I do a lot of local riding, but like I see that I really get my joy from long distance riding. I'm not the type of guy to get on the bike every day, and like when I jump on, I want to do a nice, you know, a nice decent ride, going to Harley. And I was talking to the guys there and stuff like that, and the first bike I sat on was a Street Glide. It was the I think it's like a blue one. I forgot the name of that color. It was the blue one. It wasn't a CVO. It was just the standard model one, and I sat on it and I'm like, yeah, man, like I can tell how good this bike would be with the wind, because of the fairing, the massive fairing they had. And then of course when I did research online, I seen obviously I seen like the Road Glides too, and from the pictures and the videos I seen online, when I was going into the store, I was like, I think I'm gonna want a Street Glide. So that's why I sat on the Street Glide first. But then once I sat on the Street Glide, they let me test drive it. I went around the block with it and stuff like that. You know, I actually took it on the highway. I went on the highway, and it was, the Street Glides they're awesome. They're really good. And then I jumped on the Road Glide standard. So I got on the Road Glide and I'm like, yo, the Road Glide is it, because I just like the fact that the steering didn't, the fairing didn't turn with the steering. I don't know what it was for me. It's just it felt better knowing that the steering was different, was separated from the fairing. I felt like it was a little bit easier to turn. I think like the Street Glides are a little easier, but for me, I don't know. I just felt more comfortable with the steering on the Road Glides. So that was that. Once I had test ridden the two bikes, I went home and I was like, man, like I fell in love with the Road Glide, right? So I'm like, okay. So then I was like, all right, let me look at all the Road Glide options. So then I'm looking. I have to do the ST. At that time they had kind of just came out with it. Looked at the ST and I was like, yo, man, like the features, all the features, you know, like the ride modes, the screen, like the carbon fiber it had on it, the 121 high output motor that was on it, the color scheme, you know, the flakes on this metallic black, this raven black color. It was it for me. And then I went there like 3 days, and it's crazy how I remember like the time frame, because this was a couple months ago and I still remember the time frame. Like, you know, it's crazy. So it was 3 days later, I went in and I'm like, yo, I remember the guy's name. His name is Tate. I was like, yo, Tate, I want to ride this one. And he's like, yo, you want to ride the CVO ST? And I'm like, yeah, man, I want to test ride this one. He's like, bro, he's like, you sure? I'm like, of course, man. And then, so I jumped on it, and I started to ride it, and man, from there I was like, yo, this is it, man. This is it. and I actually end up getting it the same day, and it's been history ever since. But that's what happened to me, and that's the story on why I sold my 2024 breakout to get the CVO ST. Literally because of ride comfort, you know, and the fairing, you know, that wind, I can't take it, man. I'm not a wind guy. I'm zero tolerance with wind. I want that thing, I want that wind going up and above me, man, and that's it. Before I close this out, I just want to say, if you guys are new to riding, definitely try and figure out what kind of rider are you. Figure out what you're going to be doing on the bike, like as far as like your traveling distance. And if you think you're a guy that can handle wind and you don't need much ride comfort, then you might be all right with getting a no fairing bike. But if you know you want ride comfort and you want to be cruising away and not really having to worry about the elements and the wind like that, you know a bike to get. So guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and drop a comment. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know y'all experience when y'all got y'all first Harley. I'm gonna check y'all out later. Peace.